Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. Today we have an exciting episode as we dive into the draws for Roland Garros 2024 and predict how the top 10 seeds will perform up to the quarterfinals. With intense matchups and thrilling potential showdowns, this year's French Open promises to be a spectacular event. So grab your popcorn and let's get into it. Let's start with number 1 seed, Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is set to meet peer Hughes Herbert, the world number 143, in the first round. Herbert's recent form hasn't been great. He has slipped three rankings from 140 to 143, and his recent performances have been underwhelming. He lost in the round of 32 at the Bordeaux Challenger Clay Tournament, failed to qualify in Madrid, and also lost in the qualifying rounds of Barcelona. He did reach the finals of the Naples Challenger, but lost to Luca Nardi in three sets. Given Herbert's struggles, I expect Djokovic to advance comfortably. In the second round, my pick for Djokovic's opponent is Roberto Carballé. Carballé reached the round of 64 at the Rome Masters, the same stage at the Madrid Open, and the round of 16 at the Barcelona 500, where he impressively beat Lorenzo Musetti. He also made it to the finals of the Marrakesh 250 on clay. Carballé could pose a moderate challenge, but I see Djokovic advancing to the third round. For the third round, I predict Djokovic will face Lorenzo Musetti. Musetti's clay court season has been a mix of highs and lows. He reached the finals of the Turin Challenger, retired in the second round of Rome, and made it to the finals of the Cagliari Challenger. He also reached the third round of Monte Carlo, but had early exits in the Madrid and Barcelona. Compared to Jael Monfils, whose clay season has been far less impressive, I believe Musetti will make it through to face Djokovic. Moving to the fourth round, Novak Djokovic is likely to meet Tommy Paul, currently world number 14. Paul has been climbing the rankings and his recent form is quite impressive. He reached the semifinals of the Rome Masters and made it to the third round in Madrid. Although his clay court appearances have been limited, his overall form, including a semifinal appearance at Indian Wells and winning the Dallas 250, suggests he could challenge Djokovic. This matchup will be one to watch. Before we discuss Djokovic's potential quarterfinal opponent, let's look at the number 2 seed, Jannik Sinner. Sinner has been in tremendous form, winning the Australian Open earlier this year. On clay, he lost in the semi-finals of Monte Carlo to Stefanos Tsitsipas and gave a walkover in the Madrid quarterfinals, raising some concerns about his fitness. His first round opponent is Christopher Eubanks, world number 43, who hasn't had a great run on clay this season. I expect Sinner to advance without too much trouble. In the second round, I predict Sinner will face Borna Coric. While neither Coric nor Richard Gasquet has been particularly impressive on clay this year, Coric's age advantage and slightly better recent performances give him the edge. For the third round, I expect Sinner to meet Stan Wawrinka. Wawrinka, a former Grand Slam champion, has been working to regain his form by playing in several challenger tournaments. If he can find his rhythm, he can be a formidable opponent. In the fourth round, my pick is Nicolas Jarry, who recently reached the finals of the Rome Masters. Such a deep run in a major tournament right before a Grand Slam can provide a significant confidence boost. Jarry could be a tough competitor for Sinner. Next, let's discuss the number 3 seed, Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz starts his campaign against a qualifier in the first round. In the second round, he is likely to face Jack Draper, ranked 35 in the world. Draper's best performance this season was reaching the quarterfinals in the Munich 250. Alcaraz should have the upper hand in this encounter. In the third round, I predict Alcaraz will meet Sebastian Corda. Corda has had a decent clay season, losing in three sets to Medvedev in the third round of Madrid. His style and gameplay could make for an exciting match against Alcaraz. For the fourth round, I pick Shelton to meet Alcaraz. Shelton won the Houston 250 against Francis Tiafoe, which suggests he is in a good form. On the other hand, Felix Auger, who reached the finals of Madrid largely due to retirements and walkovers, seems less consistent. Thus, Shelton and Alcaraz could be an intriguing fourth round matchup. Moving on to the number 4 seed, Alexander Zverev. His first round match is the talk of the town as he faces King of Clay, Rafael Nadal. Although Nadal hasn't been in top form lately, he is a 14-time winner of Grand Slam. If Nadal beats Zverev, it could be difficult to stop him from winning the tournament. However, if Zverev makes it to the next round, he is likely to face Luca Van Ash. Van Ash has only played a couple of tournaments on clay this season, making him an easy opponent for Zverev in the second round. In the third round, I expect Zverev to meet Luciano Darderi. Darderi has shown good results in challengers and 250 tournaments, although he lost to Zverev in Rome in straight sets. For the fourth round, I pick Holger Rune. Rune has been in great form this clay season and has the potential to upset any player on his best day. His match against Sinner in Monte Carlo was a memorable one. Even though he lost, he showcased his capabilities. A Zverev versus Rune fourth round match would be a thrilling encounter. Next up is the fifth seed Daniel Medvedev. Medvedev's first round opponent is Dominic Kiefer. In the second round, I expect him to face Miomir Kekmanovic, whose best performance was a win against Casper Ruud in the second round of the Rome Masters. For the third round, I picked Mariano Navone. Navone beat Musetti in the Cagliari Challenger final and has had a solid run on clay. He is a clay court specialist and could pose a significant challenge for Medvedev. In the fourth round, my pick for Medvedev's opponent is Alex de Minaur. De Minaur has been in a decent form, having faced Nadal twice this season, winning one encounter. He reached the quarterfinals of Monte Carlo, losing to Djokovic. This matchup against Medvedev could be highly competitive and one to watch. Now let's talk about the number 6 seed, Andrei Rublev. Rublev seems to have an easy run in the first round against Taro Daniel. In the second round, he is likely to meet Pedro Martinez, who recently reached the finals of the Bordeaux Challenger and the quarterfinals of Bucharest 250. Martinez also performed well in the Estoril 250, beating Bautista Agut, Richard Gasquet, and Casper Ruud. This could be a tough match for Rublev. If Rublev makes it to the third round, I pick Arthur Fils as his opponent. Fils has just won the Bordeaux Challenger and has shown promise. Although his performances haven't been very impressive overall, winning a challenger tournament right before Roland Garros can boost his morale. In the fourth round, Rublev is likely to meet Stefanos Tsitsipas, who has had a great season on clay. A Rublev versus Tsitsipas fourth round match would be highly anticipated. Now on to the number 7 seed, Casper Ruud. After winning the Madrid Open, Ruud must be motivated to take on any player. He has always performed well on clay and has a good record at Roland Garros. Ruud won the Barcelona Open and lost in the finals of Monte Carlo after beating Djokovic in the semis. He is definitely one of the top contenders to reach the finals. His first round opponent is Jacob Mensik, and the second round is likely to be against Alejandro Davidovich. Both rounds should be manageable for Ruud. In the third round, Ruud is expected to meet Thomas Martin Echeverry. Echeverry's record this year has been evenly split, but his initial rounds will determine how tough an opponent he will be. For the fourth round, I expect Ruud to face Taylor Fritz. Fritz, Fritz has had a strong recent performances, including reaching the quarterfinals in Rome, defeating players like Grigor Dimitrov, Sebastian Corda, and Fabio Fognini. He also reached the semifinals in Madrid and the finals in Munich 250. These performances make Fritz a real contender to challenge the top players in this tournament. Moving to the number 8 seed, Hubert Hurkacz. He meets a qualifier in the first round and is likely to meet Brandon Nakashima in the second round. Nakashima's best performance this year was in the Turin Challenger, where he lost in the quarters. In the third round, I have picked Francis Tiafoe to meet Hurkacz. Tiafoe's best performance on clay was reaching the finals in Houston 250. In the fourth round, I expect Hurkacz to face Grigor Dimitrov. Dimitrov has been in good form, making this round a potentially great match to watch. Next is the number 9 seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas has been in great form lately, reaching the finals in Barcelona and winning Monte Carlo by beating players like Ruud, Sinner, Khachanov, and Zverev. He starts with a tough first round against Martin Fucsovics. In the second round, he is likely to meet Daniel Altmaier, who hasn't had a good season so far. In the third round, I see Tsitsipas playing against Hugo Humbert. Humbert has had a decent record in 2024, winning 19 matches and losing 8, and reaching the quarterfinals of Monte Carlo. In the fourth round, I anticipate a clash between Tsitsipas and Rublev. This match would be highly exciting, considering both players' recent form and performances. Finally, let's discuss the number 10 seed, Grigor Dimitrov. Dimitrov had a good hard court season this year but hasn't made a mark on clay yet. He meets Alexander Kovacevic in the first round, who seems like an easy opponent for Dimitrov. In the second round, Dimitrov is likely to face Fabian Marozsan. If he makes it to the third round, I expect him to meet Alejandro Tabilo, who has shown potential on clay by reaching the semifinals in Rome and winning the Challenger in France. In the fourth round, Dimitrov is likely to meet Hubert Hurkacz, making this another intriguing match. Now for my quarterfinal predictions. Novak Djokovic versus Casper Ruud, Alexander Zverev versus Daniel Medvedev, Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Alcaraz, Sinner versus Grigor Dimitrov. These matchups promise to deliver thrilling tennis and some epic battles on the clay courts of Roland Garros. That's it for today's analysis of the Roland Garros 2024 draws and predictions for the top 10 seeds. We'll be back to discuss the quarterfinal matchups as the tournament progresses. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and leave your predictions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.